Good morning, ladies and gents, back with another Conquerors Blade video. And this time around we're going to be looking at the Glaive guide build for Season 14. So if you want to be a master hero killer, unit killer, any kind of killer, then you are going to be wanting to watch this guide in full. So then here we are in game. I'm going to go through everything that you need to know for the Glaive to be an absolute beast on the battlefield. So we're going to be starting off with our attributes. Nothing has changed. If you have watched some of my previous Glaive guides, you will know I play this class as a glass cannon damage build. And the damage that it still outputs to this day is very, very high if you learn how to combo all of your skills properly. So 100, all the strength, don't put points into anything else, don't worry about anything else because you will pick up some natural points from other kind of runes and stuff anyway, but put all of your attribute points into strength. Now, some of you on my last guide actually asked how did I get my strength so high. They are from the armor bonuses. Obviously with the 4 pieces of Carnifex it will give you 10 attribute points to each of the 4 additional attributes anyway. I've got 13 extra strength from my Glaive anyway, so that's a huge amount extra there. So just from my armor set and from my Glaive I'm getting 23 extra kind of strength anyway. When you are focusing, when you are crafting a Glaive, make sure you are focusing on strength, blunt damage, and then critical value. Those are your 3 main attributes that you want to be getting. If you roll a decent Glaive, like I have here, that has a decent strength attribute, blunt damage. Unfortunately, I haven't got the crit value, but I will negate that. I will not worry about that because actually strength is your number 1, blunt damage is your number 2, crit value is your number 3, and then everything else after that. Don't worry about slashing damage. Do not worry about blunt armor penetration. Firstly, slashing damage, your slashes don't make up the main part of your attack, so they're not going to be contributing to your damage overall that much in comparison to some of the other skills. And your blunt armor penetration, no one really has a decent kind of value of blunt armor anyway, so you don't need to worry about putting attributes into blunt armor penetration or rolling for blunt armor penetration, which is why you don't put any points into agility. Some people do play this class as a tank build. If you are going to be doing that, then I would be kind of going 50-50 armor and toughness just to give you a little bit of extra armor, a little bit of extra strength. However, I would be questioning why you are using a Glaive as a tank. Yes, it can wear heavy armor. Yes, it does have a CC ability. However, it is not really built for tanking. Short swords and long swords are built for tanking. If you are wanting to play a tanky class, go play a class that has been designed for tanking. Glaive, even though it can wear heavy armor, is not really the best kind of, in my opinion anyway, best kind of used as a tank. I'd much rather have a tank on my team that is either a short sword or a long sword rather than a Glaive. The damage output from the Glaive is massive still though. It has increased recently. It's had a few kind of buffs. Nothing major to kind of write home about, but the Glaive has been looked at recently and it has had a few kind of buffs given to it. So this is why the Glaive has started to pick up in popularity again. So we've done the attribute points. We're going to quickly go over the runes. So obviously you need to unlock, go through all the rune system, unlock everything. This is definitely, I would say, you definitely need this one. This is an amazing skill. So after combat dismount, so that is your Q ability off the horse, where you actually jump off of it. God of Battles is triggered for 5 seconds. That is just for you, not for any allies around you, not for any units around you. That is just for you. However, within those 5 seconds of jumping off your horse, you are probably going to be instigating, let alone fighting and rotating through all of your skills. You can rotate through all of your skills easily within 5 seconds, so that extra God of Battles, which I believe is something like 20% damage, is massive. I'm just going to check that now because I'm kind of doubting myself. 15% damage, so 15% extra damage is massive. Going back to the other runes, so I have found this one, so using a skill grants immunity to all control effects, is actually the best one to take over anything else in here. If If I was playing more of a ranged kind of unit makeup, I would probably be swapping my combat dismount for this one here, because this actually gives your God of Battles over to teammates regardless of distance. So your ranged units could be the other side of the map and you could still pop this off and they would get that. However, I don't see the point in playing a Glaive ranged unit makeup. It makes no sense in my brain. So combat dismount, and then the skill grants immunity to all control effects except when you're for 4 seconds. This is really, really powerful because this pops on any skill, which is very, very useful. If you are, so I do play this class a little bit differently to most people, but I will give a recommendation in a minute, because you can use Heater Battle as well, and that will actually get you out of the verbal poo-poo very, very quickly. Moving on down to our helmet. So I have found this is really, really useful. I play a lot of sieges. This seems to be really, really good, and it does not matter if that capture point is enemy or ally. You, as soon as you step foot on it, your damage dealt increases by 12%, which is a huge amount, coupled with your other skills from your runes and God of Battles and everything like that. Strength and toughness by 5. I put toughness by 5 on this one instead of any of the other ones, because I feel that actually just a little bit more survivability to kind of bring those points up a little bit does help out. Going down to the chest piece, increase your armor by 100 points. I think this is kind of a given for whatever class you are, to be honest, because reduces damage taken and reduces range damage is very, very minuscule. So minuscule you won't actually notice it. The only reason you may use this one is for the reduced full damage by 50%, so you can actually go YOLOing off the wall and get out of the shit if you need to quite quickly. Again, increases armor by 5, so a little bit more survivability. Damage taken from soldiers reduced by 7%. When you are fighting, you are getting hit by a lot of different units. This again gives you a little bit more survivability. Going down to your boots, increases toughness and strength by 2. Yeah, that's kind of going to be a staple through this rune build. This is massive. So last season I was using the one where you could bandage while running. It's nowhere near as good this season. It is interrupted by everything. It's a pain in the arse and it just takes so long. I find that actually bandage duration is reduced by 40% while healing the same amount. Actually, the bandage cools down really, really quick anyway, and when you are fighting, you're going to be keeping an eye on your health, so once it starts to go low, you want to obviously draw yourself out of battle very, very quickly, and with this, you can actually get into battle straight away you can get back into battle very, very quickly afterwards. Increase agility by 5 points, just stick this one on, just so I've got an extra little bit of slashing penetration. So that's all I'm kind of left with at this point, so I think this is kind of the best one just to stick on, because that's all we've kind of got left. Going down onto our glove, so it increases damage dealt by 2%. It's only 2%, it's not huge, but it increases damage dealt. Increases strength by 5, definitely one that you want. This one is very, very good, and this one actually is a bit of a weird one. So every time you perform a normal attack, which you will be doing a fair bit as a glaive, critical value is increased by 9 points for 6 seconds, stackable up to 7 times. You can actually proc this off before you go into fighting, because you do not need to use the normal attacks against anything. I have noticed over my time of playing the last couple of weeks, you could literally be stood in the middle of the field just using your normal attacks, and this will proc off this skill up to obviously 7 times. Make sure you then do another normal attack within 6 seconds to proc it back off and to keep it kind of active. It does make a little bit of a difference, to be honest. Like, it's, what is that, 63 points of critical value. That's a fair decent kind of extra little bit of damage for you. Going into skills, so I am still running exactly the same build as I have been. I run God of Battles, Breaker of Shields, Warlord's Greeting, Flying Reaper. I still have God of Battles on because I use a lot of units like Shield Maidens, Reapers, things that are really big, heavy hitters, and actually I feel giving them a little bit of extra damage for 10 seconds, so that 15% extra damage, is actually massive. Not only does it only affect my own units, it affects other people's units, plus now I also get support points for it. So actually I will be ranking up a little bit higher on the leaderboard because I am actually benefiting from benefiting my team, which is actually quite nice. Warlord's Greeting, open up any kind of combo with this, go straight into Breaker of Shields and then into Flying Reaper. With that, you will be doing a oodle amount of damage because this is your big heavy hitting skill. It uses blunt damage. This is your second big heavy hitting skill. also uses blunt damage. I ain't using Warlord's Greeting to actually damage something. I'm only using this to actually stun something for a couple of seconds so I can pop off the other skills. When you have popped off all of your skills, you have an additional one with the Glaive where if you hold shift like you are running, so shift and W so you're running forward, and then click normal attack, you do a flying kind of attack which does an increased amount of damage compared to normal attacks. This Glaive guide, or this Glaive build, is decent against heroes. It is decent against units. If you, however, want to go more unit focused, then what I would suggest is changing out the Warlord's Greeting for Arc of Steel. I would keep the other skills, to be honest, as well. Do not use Hail with Blades. It is still such a poor skill, and it does absolutely no freaking damage whatsoever, and it's interruptible, which is not very good. Flying Reaper, whatever Glaive kind of where you're going with it, is definitely what you want. Other ways you can play this, like I said, you can play this tanky. If you are playing it tanky, then you definitely want heater battles on, which is this one here. This will get you out the poo because it actually resets kind of all the CC stuff that people can do to you, and then you want charge on there as well, so you can actually run out of battle very quickly. If you are finding you are getting stuck in battle quite a lot and you're kind of suffering, then it may also be a idea, even with the way that I build it, I have tried this in the past, swapping out God of Battles for this charge, so you can literally use this as an escape ability. Again, does not do very much damage. Do not use it as a damage dealing ability. It is all about kind of just getting out of the poo, getting your skills reset, and then going straight back into the thick of it. Do not play this class as a front line damage dealer. The amount of times I've said this over the years and people keep doing it and then complain that the Glaive is really bad, it is not designed to be a sustained melee fighter. It is designed to be a burst damage glass cannon, real heavy damage dealing kind of class. So you want to get in there, pop off all your abilities, get straight back out of there. Glaive, since I've gone back to it, I've been playing the new class for a fair bit. I've gone back to the Glaive recently and I am absolutely loving it. The damage output from this thing is insane. You just need to learn that actually once your skills are on cooldown, do not be anywhere near a fight because you will get messed up very quickly. I think I've covered everything in that. If you have any questions, please do let me know down below. I hope this has helped you. I hope this has shown you that the Glaive is still viable and it is becoming more and more popular as well. So following all these steps, following all these skills and everything like that, you will become a master of the Glaive and a beast on the battlefield. So give it time, give it a few games. You are going to be wanting to spend a little bit of time with actually learning how much damage and stuff that you can take, and kind of what you can go up against and what you can't. There's very little stuff that you can't go up against, even in medium armor as this Glaive. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, then please do let me know down below. Let me know if you've got any other questions, suggestions, or if you play the Glaive a little bit different as well. Let everybody know. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that sub button, hit that share button, all that lovely fan-dooby-tastic stuff, and I hope to catch you out on the battlefield.